Alrighty guys, welcome to the endgame of Path of Exile. So this is right after you defeat Kitava, the endgame boss in Act 10. So as soon as you do that, the next thing that you want to do is go ahead and claim your extra skill points from the book. So you just talk to Lonnie and you will get a passive skill that will give you 2 skill points. Now, after that, you will also want to type in this in the box. If you're on console, I don't know if you can type, to be honest, but someone let me know what you do for console. But you want to make sure you type in the word /passives, and it's going to go over all of the passives that are from the quests. If you have not completed any of these, I would recommend doing this because this is part of your power. Now, the one exception will be deal with the bandits. If you selected like side with Alira, which is what I did, you will not have any skill points from deal with the bandits. But the rest of them, you want to make sure that you completed all of these, because if you don't, well, you are missing out on extra skill points. So now that that's kind of covered here, what we're going to do is we are going to now go and kind of complete the campaign, so to speak. So now we're going to go to set sail from Oriath, and we're going to be doing maps. This is part of the endgame content, but I want to show you guys everything. I'm also just going to put these 2 points in to get the additional arrow. So we'll talk to this NPC. We're just going to walk. Can't unfortunately pop your flasks here, but there's a bunch of NPCs. If you really are interested in the lore and stuff, you can talk to them, but it's not like a requirement. But what we're going to do is we're going to go and do our first set of maps. And so this part over here for like a walkthrough, it's kind of redundant to go over every single like map. However, there are some maps in here that will be kind of different. They're not like your normal maps. You may have some sort of like gimmick to it. And you can look these up online if like you're looking like Hollowed Ground, or there's very specific maps, and we'll show off kind of how a basic one works. But there's a bunch of NPCs that you can talk to, again, if you want to. But the only important one that you really need to talk to is Commander Kyrak. So we're going to go ahead and talk to Kyrak, and he's going to give you a map. Now, I don't have any maps right now, but if I did have any maps, I would make sure that I'm getting a different one. So our goal in the end game is to do these maps, and if I hold Alt, you'll see where it says Atlas map incomplete, bonus objective incomplete. In the very beginning, if you do the map on blue rare, that will make it so you will get the bonus complete. And with the bonus, you're going to get an end game skill point. It's a map skill point, so it is a little bit different, which is really cool. So for this one, it really doesn't matter which one we select. So we're just going to go ahead and select, let's say ship. Okay, doesn't matter. If I had the other ones, I would actually make sure I take the one that I don't have, so I can go ahead and do as many maps as possible. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to identify it. And you do need to read what the map does. Unlike in the campaign where, like, you know, a boss or an enemy might deal like 20% more damage for Necropolis League, that like matters a little bit. But there are map modifiers that you absolutely cannot do for a lot of builds. There are ones where it will reflect damage. Reflect damage, if you're reflecting elemental damage, and like my build's lightning arrow right now, I will legitimately 1 or 2 shot myself. So you have to make sure that you can do the map. If you cannot do the map, there are items that you can get that will re-roll the map. So you can get other ones. Let me go and show you guys like some of the other currencies that you probably have already picked up as you progress. So if this map had something that I could not do on it, like I'm like, oh man, I can't do this map because it has reflect elemental damage, I can grab this orb alteration, right click on it, and modify it. So now I can't do exposure, and I can't stun the monsters, and they have more life. Don't worry too much about the monsters having more defensive stats. For the most part, those are a-okay. The one thing that you got to watch out for is like reflect damage. That one is just like the automatic no-go. Or a lot of builds, if there's a modifier that says no regen, where you won't be able to regenerate your mana or HP, yeah, that can absolutely be a thing that will brick your build. But what your goal is to go into these maps, and again, you want to do them on blue rare. Now, depending on what you have set for your hotkey, like mine's G, so you want to go to where it's called the Atlas screen over here on the menu, and it's going to open this up. There is a total of 115 maps, and there is a total of 115 Atlas skill points. So this is basically a skill tree for the map, and you can kind of build it to what you enjoy. And if you're following my guide, the one that I think is a really good one for beginners is specifically the ones that are on the essences, shrines, as well as strong boxes. But it's up to you. It kind of depends on what you'd like to do in the campaign. Do you like certain mechanics where the monsters are imprisoned with an essence? Do you like the strong boxes? I don't know what you like to enjoy. So if you're like, hey, just tell me which ones you would recommend. I think the ones that will make your maps easier are specifically the shrines ones, There's also a mod, let's see, yeah, okay, this one packed with energy will actually help you out. And there are two really important ones to go over. This one over here, if you're having problems with completing maps, where it says your monsters in your maps deal 25% less damage, they'll have more HP. But there's another one over here where they deal more damage, but they'll have more life, or less life. So it's kind of up to you which one you want. These are really great to get in the very beginning. If you're like, man, my damage is terrible, but I got a lot of HP, then pick up this one. Or if you're like, man, my HP is really, really suffering, maybe you want to get this one. These are like the ones that you can get. I think they removed, I think Stream of Consciousness was the one that I used to rush, but they removed it. There was one that was really good because it was like if you didn't have your maps affected, you could get a lot of other stuff. But I would recommend looking at the strong boxes as well as shrines. So you can just type in strong box. That's one of the easiest ones. Make sure you have something to clear freeze if you are doing it. But let's get into the gameplay section now that we kind of yapped for a while. So what you do with the map is, well, let me get rid of this because I have to have some inventory space here. So what we're going to do with the map device, we're going to go down here, we're going to click on the map device, and we're going to put our map inside here. If you want to do this faster, you can also hold control on the keyboard and then just left click, and we're going to open up our very first map. And some of these you can modify these, but ideally you just want to complete as many maps as possible. Again, make sure they're at least blue if they're white, so as in they're at least that rarity. If it's a white one, you can upgrade it to a yellow one, and you will still get the bonus if it's a higher difficulty. So it starts off on white, then it goes blue, but you never really do your maps completely white unless you're just trying to do something specific. Pretty much in the very beginning, if it says Atlas and Objective Incomplete, you want to try to complete it and get the bonus, because if you don't, then you're kind of wasting the map with the ability to gain a skill point. So we're just going to go ahead and activate this. This is for the new mechanic of the new map area, and just as a heads up, they said that they are going to be nerfing these. Apparently these are too strong right now. We're just going to hop in. I'll show you how the map system works, and it's random on which map that you are going to be getting, because usually how it works is they will drop adjacent to it, but I'll have to do a map so you guys can see it. So how this works is we're just going to defeat the map boss, and we're just going to go kill some stuff. So your goal is to look at the top right in the very beginning if you don't have maps, okay, because we don't have any maps. Okay, we got a map right here, cool. You usually can sustain maps now. It used to be a lot harder in Path of Exile, but don't worry if there's like some boss that's like way too strong. They mentioned that they're going to be toning the elites down on the Necropolis League. But you eventually want to try to get your 6th link. You want to get, you know, way more HP, and your resistances may be scuffed when you complete the campaign. Like our resistances aren't too bad right now, but it is something that we will need to eventually fix. Because as you complete the campaign, you will start getting negative resistances, just like in World Tier 3-4 of Diablo. And if you die, don't worry, you will go right back in. However, there's a thing that I do have to mention. If you lose out on all 6 of your portals, then your map is done. You cannot keep on going back infinitely. There will be a limit on how many you can go in. But we're going to go ahead and activate our buffs again. If you die, you do lose your buffs. But your goal is to just complete as many monsters, or see the top right where it says there's more than 50 monsters that remain. Your goal is to try to get as many monsters killed as possible. You don't have to kill every single thing to where it says 0 monsters, but this is honestly pretty overtuned for the earlier stages. But we're only level 65. I still need to do some of the labs to get more, you know, upgrades here. But your goal is to complete the boss, and that's going to give you your reward. And I'll show you what that looks like. Again, some of these are quite overtuned from the Necropolis League. Reading the things and moving them around could be helpful, but my guess is they'll make it more manageable. Like in Arch Nemesis, it was pretty unmanageable too. Some of the elites would just absolutely destroy you. And like I have like a pretty good amount of armor, and we have like 8,000 evasion, although the armor is only good when I have my granite flask up. But our goal is to kill the bosses over here and get the point. Let's go and resummon our stone golem so we get some extra regen here. Alright, so where's the other boss? There it is. Okay, so you can see it's telling us to talk to Commander Kyrak. So what we're going to do is, over here, since I have another map, ideally you try to make sure you can sustain your maps. If you need to buy more maps, you can buy them off of players. We also got a Divine Vessel, which is kind of nice. So since I only have one map, I think in this instance over here, I would want to make sure I can sustain more than like one map. Oh my gosh, that thing does way too much damage. Okay, that is crazy. Now I can see why people were complaining on the forums. But they already confirmed that they are going to be nerfing the monster. So if you're dying consistently, they're going to be nerfing it. So it's going to make it easier for you. As in, they're going to make the monsters a little bit less crazy, considering we have like all this extra difficulty. And a lot of these, they're not even like the high tier, corpses to get the good results from. But you can see where it says on the top right, there's more than 50 monsters remain. And if I only have one map, because I only have one map at the moment right now, I would like to try to keep, a couple maps. You don't feel like, you have to kill every single enemy on the screen, but if you can clean it up a little bit better, than just leaving a bunch of areas. Because at this point, this map is what I would consider relatively clean. Like, it's clean enough. Like, I at least went to all the areas, and I killed what I could. So the next thing that we're going to do is we have an Atlas skill point. So again, it depends on what you want to go for. I want to do strong boxes and shrines, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and spec into. So I'm going to path, just like a skill tree, I'm going to path to getting the strong box. But how I like to do it first is there's an item called the Goal, and it's so godly compared to everything else that exists in the entire game, and it's like a couple chaos orbs. But let me show you what it looks like. And I actually think this is a really good recommendation for like every single build too. It's not just like this build. So it's called the Goal, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like and what it does. So with this item, again, it's a really cheap item. It lets you create a lesser shrine when you kill an enemy sometimes. It's not a guaranteed thing. The thing that we want it for is the increased effective shrines, increased duration of the shrine effects. So this guarantees every single one of our maps will have a shrine. And also, if you want to find out all the nodes, you can click on it. And if I do this, you can see it highlights it over here, or you can just type in the word shrine, and it will highlight it. But you have to kind of zoom in. It should be in like red. It's much easier to see if you're on like Path of Building or a third-party app. But the thing that's really great with the shrine is over here. There's one where like, is there like the double effect? There's one where like you get like double effects of shrine. Did they remove that one? Shrines your map. Okay, so the ones that I like, is getting this. So I like to rush this, and I like to get this, and you get the Goal, and your character will be like almost headhunter levels of good for like a fraction of the price. It's not the same level as headhunter, but for a fraction of the price, you will feel absolutely godly with the Goal. And it's a really cheap item, and it requires only level 38. So we can maybe snag this one over here. I don't really care that's corrupted. There's really no item that's going to be on the same level as the Goal, and maybe later I'll show you guys gameplay of it. But let's see if we can. We'll get one of these later. But I want to go over how you can get more maps. So again, you only have 6 portals on the map unless it's a special one. But you can talk to Kyrak over here, and then you can also purchase maps from him, and they're usually going to cost orbs of chance. But what happens if you run out of maps? Well, my suggestion is to trade your items for more maps. You can also go back and you can go around, and they should be able to drop, although I didn't get any this time. Usually you can get like 2 or 3 by the time you complete the campaign. They'll start dropping, especially in Act 10. But if you run out, my suggestion is just to buy them. Don't go back into the other acts and just try to farm them. Just go trade your currency items for them. Or I guess if you really need to, you can go back to Act 10, or you can go to Lonnie over here, go to purchase items, and you can go ahead and maybe get some orbs of chance also here for your fusers, and then you can go back to Kyrak and then purchase more maps. But again, your goal is to complete as many of the maps as possible, getting more Atlas points. But this is where I can't really hold your hand, because what maps drop is usually going to be adjacent to it, and it's RNG, it's random. But your goal should be just start completing a bunch of maps. Once you get to the yellow maps, you'll see that some of these requirements will actually change. Once you get to the yellow or red maps, the objective will be to do a corrupted one or to do a rare map. Just read what it says to get the bonus over here. If you actually go over here, it'll tell you what the bonus is as well. So it'll say like kill boss of magic or higher of this map, and we'll talk more about more stuff later as I want to update you guys with more info. But yeah, that's basically it. You just keep on slamming maps out. You just got to slam them out just like you would in Last Epoch or Diablo with like the Rift system. You're just basically doing these maps. Now, you don't always have to come back over here to the epilogue to do it. This little area in the Career Shores. What you can do is you can get your own hideout. So you can go to Helena and you can go ahead and select any hideout, get your hideout, and you can keep on doing maps. You can also customize your hideout. I'll show you my meme one that we have over here. So you can see over here, this is my hideout, and you can always teleport to this area. And if you want to download other people's hideouts, you can go to, you can see this one. I have an anime one over here. Well, it's actually from 2B, from another game. So there's tons of different hideouts. Is it Hideout Showcase? There's a bunch of different websites that they would have. Let me see if it's this one, where they have like basically downloadable ones where you could just go to random hideout. Okay, it'll just give me a random hideout, and if I want to grab this one, I can download this one. A lot of them are like they're like the anime or like you know, TV show themed or something like that. But you can see most viewed hideouts or whatever, and these are all free. You can see kind of what it looks like, and if you like this person's hideout, you can just get it's like some sort of download or something with it. Downloads, there you go. But yeah, you can download it. I'm sure they have Discord and stuff, but you usually want to interact with your own hideout because you can customize and you can edit and move everything around. If I want to move around the map device, if I want to move around like this little locker over here, I get to play like, you know, and create my own setup. And if you want to access that, you can talk to Helena, and you can add NPCs because they have what this is, edit this. There's decorations, there's NPCs that you can place if I want to remove the NPC. But if you want, you can use this. I just figured I'd mention the things that are actually important here. And it's way better to have your own hideout because otherwise you're walking down here and it just takes too long. But yeah, make your own hideout, keep on slamming out more maps, and you will eventually get some good items. And your goal mainly is to get a 6-link item, and then your character will feel way more powerful because you're going to do way more damage. But that's a brief introduction to the endgame. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much stuff in the first one. But if you have any questions, let me know down below, and we'll update with a part 2 of the endgame once we slam out a bunch more of these maps. But again, just keep doing the maps, kill the boss, and you'll get the rewards. But anyways, drop a like on your way out. I'll see you guys in the next part, which will be part 2 of the endgame guide. Peace out.